Women's legal right in India.
When we talk about women, it's categorized into three, which is wife, then daughter and mother.
So the court decides whether you should go for mediation.
They can decide whether they go for mediation, and when they go for mediation, the mediation works or doesn't work is again up to the husband and wife.
Alimony, maintenance. Can you just shed some light there? What is a woman entitled to?
A wife is always entitled to maintenance, alimony, based on several factors. For divorce, they need to show that they are staying separately for a considerable amount of time. Now it is up to the judge, up to the court, whether they consider that as separation or not.
Namrata, what is separation legally?
Okay, so as per Indian law as well, separation between husband and wife is staying separately in two separate houses, having no communication, having no marital relationship between each other for years. Now, when we talk about separation, what we have seen also is divorce is permanent. You cannot come back from divorce. When there are kids, what some couples actually end up doing is living separately for the benefit of the child. So what they do is they probably stay separately, let's say in one house in two separate bedrooms, but want to bring up their children together.
But they're still separated.
But they are still separated. But legally, when we talk about law and how the act defines it, it is separation, completely separately staying in two different houses altogether.
No, so here's my question. Let's say the couple wants to separate. They are living in the same house in two separate rooms. Will they be able to file for divorce as showing separation in this way or no?
So for divorce, they need to show that they are staying separately for a considerable amount of time. Now it is up to the judge, up to the court, whether they consider that as separation or not.
Oh, so that's actually a grey area.
Grey area.
So when one wants to apply for divorce, but there is nothing major happening, like maybe no infidelity, no abuse, no financial abuse, and yet you're just incompatible and unhappy, can that be a ground for divorce?
So it's a case-to-case basis, and please don't consider this as a legal advice to file for any divorces, I would say that, and that's my disclaimer, but it's case-to-case basis. It is possible that two people are incompatible in a marriage and they don't want to continue with it. Putting their case ahead, it is possible that the court might take a view that a marriage counseling is required. Mediation might be required, and given time and still they are incompatible with each other, a divorce can be granted to them eventually. But the steps have to be taken to prove that you are incompatible in that marriage.
So the court will make you do that?
It's not the court. First, always a step would be marriage counseling, mediation. It is, each court takes its own view depending on each and every situation. Rakshit, today we are talking about a very general situation, but when we talk about a relationship between a husband and wife, there are n number of things that could be incompatible, and there could be sometimes there's nothing, but it is
very shallow and like nothing.
It could be something which could be of gravity, of importance to that particular person. So it is very individualistic and it is very, very personal to each and every person. That's why a counseling would be always the first step to it, and then going to the next steps eventually if it doesn't work out.
What is mediation?
So mediation is, so when you apply for a divorce, there are certain times when the court says that you should go to a mediator. Mediation is a type of counseling, but it is a legal mediation wherein husband and wife, what are the incompatible situations are, everything is discussed. A last step to whether you can stay in this marriage together or not.
So the court decides whether you should go for mediation?
The court can advise a suggestion.
Okay.
They can decide whether they go for mediation, and when they go for mediation, the mediation works or doesn't work is again up to the husband and wife.
Okay.
And I keep saying husband and wife till they don't get divorced, they are husband and wife.
So what is the simplest, least complicated ground to file for a divorce?
It's always mutual. When the husband and wife agree that they could not stay together and go for a mutual consent divorce, that's the easiest. you represent, and there are certain cases where we have seen that it is simply nothing. They are both just not, they don't want to be together.
Namrata, how is child custody determined in case of divorce?
Okay. So when there is a minor in question, and minor is very well defined by law.
Under 18?
Yes, under 18, under 16, they have their own legal rights post that. Now, minor, as far as India is concerned, normally the custody is preferable to the mother. Joint custody is always an option. So there are several divorces which happen on a mutual basis, and they share a joint custody of the child, which is healthy for the child. The court also prefers that in this divorce, at least the child should be brought up healthy.
Alimony, maintenance, can you just shed some light there? What is a woman entitled to?
Sure. So a wife is always entitled to maintenance, alimony, based on several factors. Let's say if there's a child, so it depends on number of children, their education, and obviously mutually what the husband and wife ends up deciding on. So that is a part of maintenance for the child. Maintenance for wife is also eligible for their own maintenance till they get married. Remarried, I would say.
So once she is remarried, she will not get that maintenance. But she will get her child's maintenance?
Yes, that is again up to the mutual contract between the husband and wife. Now, when we talk about alimony, there is also one factor, which is whether the wife is working or will be working, and their educational background.
Okay.
So, and the number of years they were in marriage together. That is how an alimony would be calculated eventually.
How's the number of years, like,
it does house income, number of years of marriage, number of children, and educational background of the wife, whether the wife can also work. Because now we are talking about women equality, right? Women can also equally work.
So let's say she was not working, but then she can work.
She can.
Oh, so that kind of affects the alimony.
Yes, that also affects the alimony proportion.
What is the woman's legal right in India regarding property ownership?
Okay, so let's talk about any type of ownership, property, immovable, movable, all types of asset.
Yeah.
When we talk about women, let's categorize into three, which is wife, then daughter, and mother.
Okay.
So let's categorize it into three things. Now, when we talk about wife, as a wife in an HUF property which is ancestral, that is, let's say father-in-law's ancestral property, a wife has no rights over such HUF properties.
Okay.
When we talk about a daughter has equal rights like a son to whether they are married or unmarried.
So if my father has, let's say, X amount, I have a right to whatever,
yes,
a part of that amount.
Yes.
Okay.
So a mother as well has a right. So class 1 heirs, that's how they are labeled as, which is son, mother, then daughter. They all are equal. They have equal sharing rights as far as
So I didn't understand. What do you mean by mother? Like from my mother?
No, as a mother. So
as
when
your
husband or in your husband's property, your mother, your daughters will have equal rights. So as a mother, you'll have an equal right, and your daughters.
Okay, I got it. Okay, in my husband's property.
In your husband's property.
Got it.
So that is in HUF defines them as class 1 heirs. So a daughter, whether there is married or unmarried, whether a daughter is working for herself or not, that does not matter. That does not categorize that whether they can have only 50% share or 100% share. A daughter is as equal to a son.
Okay. So even if she's working, it doesn't matter. She is liable to equal rights as a son. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. So what is Stridhan and when can a man take it away?
So Stridhan is one thing that no one can take it away from you, whether that's your parents or your husband or anyone, that even I would say income tax officers as well. So Stridhan is one thing that is very much defined in law, which says that whatever has been bought by you or received by you and given by your parents during your marriage, at the time of the marriage or after the marriage, which is declared in your books, is Stridhan.
Oh.
And you are the only one and owner of that Stridhan. No one has rights to take it away from you.
So when, let's say, there's a divorce proceeding or separation, so whatever alimony and all we are talking about, Stridhan doesn't come in that. That's separate.
No, it's separate. So you can always claim what jewelry that I received during my marriage, or anything that I received from my parents at that time, or whatever I made. It's not necessary that nowadays women are self-capable. They buy their own jewelry. So whatever you received and showed during your marriage and at the time of your marriage, after the marriage as well, is Stridhan, and it's yours.
What about the gifts you receive post marriage from, let's say, your sister or your friends? Is that Stridhan?
That's also Stridhan, received for your marriage. Yes.
Okay. What about after marriage, 5 years, 7 years after marriage?
That is not Stridhan technically, but now, as I said, women are working, women are earning. So something that you bought through your financial uses, that is not Stridhan, but that is yours completely. So technically, no one has rights over that jewelry or anything that may be.
Thank you.